Head over to your favorite art shop and pick up some pan pastels or soft pastels. Rub a pastel on a sheet of paper to create a little pile of dust. To bring my sweet pea back to its beautiful shade of bluish lilac, I ground down a blue and a purple pastel. Now gently brush the Q-tip across the petals of the flower. You can also spray with a fine hairspray or a fixative to finish the flowers, but I find pressing with my fingers is enough. With my frame, I had a matte border, so I needed to trim the backing paper to fit. Place your backing paper under the mat and mark the edges of the mat, which you will work inside. Now cut the backing paper approximately 1 inch larger all the way around. I wanted to have a piece of ribbon around the stems of the bouquet, so I cut a piece of ribbon and glued it down. Next, I placed the background greenery and glued it. After all the greenery was in place, I started with the flowers. Because my paper is white, I wanted to create a darker background so that you could see the white flowers that I'll be adding later. I glued down those beautiful sweet peas that we color intensified earlier. Where there was some blank spaces, I added in some of the flowers without the stems. Next, I layered in the white larkspur. Lastly, I added in a top layer of our pretty sweet peas to give it depth, with some of the flowers in the front, some in the middle, and some in the back. You could also add more greenery in, but I wanted mine to be a simple bouquet. When I started to add more flowers, it just got too cluttered for my liking. I didn't have as many stems sticking out of the bottom, so I broke a sweet pea stem into pieces and glued it where the bottom of the bouquet would be. Place the matte border on top of your finished bouquet so that the bouquet shows through the middle. Add pieces of tape on the back of the border to keep your finished bouquet in place. Place the cardboard backer of the frame on top and then secure tightly all the way around your frame. I live in an extremely dry climate and my flowers are fine left this way. In some areas, you will need to completely seal the frame to keep the moisture out. Look how beautiful it turned out. What a wonderful way to preserve the beautiful blooms from your garden. Now let's style it with a mirror, some candles, and some pretty tulle with pearls underneath. This would be perfect as a gift for the bride or just as spring or summer decor in your own home. I hope you enjoyed this project and will give it a try. The first step is to take out all of the cardboard in both of the frames along with the back stands. You'll only need one of the frames, but 2 pieces of glass. The next step is to print off your design and make sure it fits nicely within your frame. Place the reverse image under the glass centered as you would like it to appear once it is framed, and then trace the image onto the glass with a permanent marker. Then turn that piece over so that you are working on the side that does not have the gold marker on it. When it comes to the dried flowers, I used some that I had dried myself, but I also purchased a whole selection of pressed flowers from Amazon, and they were really great to work with. Select the pressed flowers you think are most appropriate for the design and trim off any unwanted pieces like stems and leaves. Prepare a bunch of different sizes and shapes so that you can fit them in where necessary. This project is like doing a puzzle. I even dismantled a daisy so that I could have thin, narrow petals for the hem of the dress and the edges of the dress. I also chose fluffier ivory-colored stalks. Stalks are a type of fragrant flower, somewhat like a snapdragon, and I used those to fill in the inside of the bottom portion of the dress. For the bodice, I went with pressed baby's breath as I felt it was the perfect texture for the bodice. It was easy to cut and trim for this narrow portion of the design. As you will see, I used a toothpick dipped in the liquid glue as I did not want it running past the edge of the design, nor did I want it to dry before I got to that area with the flowers. For the bouquet, I found a small pressed flower blossom that looked just like a bouquet. I trimmed some excess greenery and placed it close to her body to look like she was holding it. The veil, I have to say, was my favorite part of this project. When I was unpacking the pressed flowers, I found these small flowers on long stems that curve so gracefully. I knew they would be perfect to represent a flowy veil. It was important for the veil to be delicate and have life, so removing those gold lines was a good decision. Otherwise, it would have looked bulky and messy. Look how wonderful it turned out. What a special gift this would be to give to a new bride or to a friend on her anniversary. I hope you enjoyed this project.
Take a sealable plastic container and fill the bottom 1/2 inch with clay unscented cat litter. Add salt to the top. Pour more cat litter onto the top. Mix the salt and cat litter together and make sure it sits even and flat. Cut the stems on all of your flowers. You can leave a bit of stem, but keep in mind the size of your resin mold. Some flowers you might not have to cut any more of the stem on, sort of like this cluster here. Place the flowers into the litter and salt. Bury the flowers slightly, especially if there's still a little bit of stem. The bottom litter will help to hold the flowers in place and make it less likely that they will break when they are dried and taken out. Add salt to the top and cover all of the flowers slightly. You could fully cover the flowers, but it's not fully necessary. Put the lid on and let it sit for about 5 days. After your flowers are dry, or at least partially dry, remove them from the container. You will need to carefully brush the salt off of your flowers. Use a paintbrush and do so and go very slowly. Mix up some resin. The resin I am using is a 2-to-1 ratio. When you are working with resin, always wear gloves, along with also do it in a well-ventilated area. Mix and get out air bubbles by tapping the container. Make sure your silicone mold is clean and also dry before you pour anything in. Slowly pour your resin into the mold. You may notice bubbles in your resin. If there are bubbles, use a heat gun to get rid of them. Place your flowers slowly into the poured resin. Start off with your centerpiece and branch out from there. Take your time placing flowers down, and also take advantage of the work time of your resin. The work time on this resin is just about an hour, so try to find a type of resin that you can work with for longer periods of time, but keep in mind the longer period of time that you can work with it, the longer it's going to take to cure. After all of your flowers are placed, use the heat gun one more time to get any bubbles out. If you have any resin left over like I do, make sure to use it. I am making a smaller keepsake that can be used as a coaster or just as a decoration. After your resin is set slightly, but it's still tacky, pour your next layer of resin slowly on top of this. You will need to mix up a small amount more of resin to do so. Use your heat gun to get out any bubbles. You want a nice clear surface cover of resin for this. Let your resin fully set. It took about 5 days in total for this to set. After your resin is fully set, remove it from the mold. It might take a bit of force to get it out, but it should come out with little to no resistance. This piece turned out very shiny and clear because of the silicone mold that I used. This other one was textured, so keep in mind what effect you want for your keepsake and buy the appropriate mold type. You can use these keepsakes to put more flower vases onto and use it as a centerpiece. You can also find a nice place in your home to display them with other keepsakes and mementos. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!